Good evening, or should I say, good awakening. Because if you found your way here tonight, you're not one of them. You're not blind. You're not asleep. You've been walking through this masquerade ball long enough to realize the masks aren't costumes. They're glued on. You've seen it, haven't you? The ones who preach purity, but their hands drip with rot. The ones who smile with teeth so white they almost blind you. But behind the enamel is venom sharp enough to kill. The ones who hold their heads high in the name of light. But the glow comes not from truth, not from grace. It comes from the fires they lit to burn others alive. And you were not born to join their little dance. You were not born to sit in their pews and nod when they tell you the sky is red. You were not born to bow your head when you know the crown above it was forged in blood and lies. No. You were born for something far more dangerous. You were born to see, to pierce through the painted halos and the staged miracles, to spot the snakes that learned to hiss in harmony with the choir. You were born to walk into their temples and hear the whispers in the walls, the whispers they thought nobody could hear. And you were born to tear it down. Oh, they hate you for it. They always have. They can't stand the way your eyes don't flinch when you catch them mid-act. They can't stand that you know their words are rehearsed, their smiles are rehearsed, their goodness is rehearsed. You're the one person in the room who sees the script in their hands. You see the trembling in their fingers when the spotlight turns your way. Because deep down, they know. You could speak one sentence and the whole illusion collapses. They'll call you arrogant. They'll call you crazy. They'll call you bitter, broken, dangerous. But here's the secret. Those are the names the guilty give to the ones who could testify against them. You think they hate you because you're different? No. They hate you because you're proof. Proof that not everyone is blind. Proof that not everyone can be bought, seduced or scared into silence. Proof that their kingdom was never real. That it was just a stage set, held together with duct tape and denial. You were born with a sense, a radar for rot. You can walk into a room and feel it, not see it, not hear it, feel it. Like the air itself changes density when deception is in the walls. You hear the tone beneath the words. You read the meaning in the spaces between their sentences. And it drove you mad for a while, didn't it? Because you kept asking yourself, why me? Why do I see it when no one else does? You tried to convince yourself you were imagining it. You gave them the benefit of the doubt, over and over and over. But every time, the truth came crawling back. And eventually, you stopped running from it. You learned that the ones they called holy were the dirtiest. You learned that the ones they praised as leaders were leeches. You learned that the ones they painted as villains were sometimes the only ones telling the truth. And the day you accepted it was the day they marked you as a threat. You see, they can tolerate rebellion as long as it's the kind they can control. They can tolerate resistance as long as it follows their rules. But they cannot tolerate someone who sees through them completely. That's the kind of rebellion you can't negotiate with. That's the kind of resistance you can't chain. You were born to be that nightmare. Not by choice, not by accident, by design. You were heaven's answer to a cancer that learned to call itself light. You were born to walk into their kingdom and shatter the stained glass windows with nothing but truth. You were born to stand so still, so unshaken, that their shadows panic under the weight of your silence. You were born to remind them, light and the appearance of light are not the same thing. And when you speak, you don't just reveal the darkness, You reveal the fact that they knew they were darkness all along. That's the part that terrifies them. Because it means the game is over. It means the mask has cracked. It means their worshippers will start to notice the smell of smoke instead of incense. And here's the thing. Once the truth is seen, it can't be unseen. You can't staple the mask back to the face. You can't put the glass back in the shattered window. Once people know the sun isn't rising, just a lamp turned on in the distance, they'll stop walking toward it, so they will try to destroy you. Oh yes, they will. They will try to smear your name, twist your story, burn your reputation until there's nothing left but ash. But what they never understood is that people like you don't burn. You are the fire. And when the day comes, when the walls they built to hide the truth collapse under their own weight, they will look for someone to blame. They'll point to you, and they'll be right. Because you didn't just expose the darkness they worshipped as light. You reminded the world that real light is untouchable. Real light doesn't beg for worship. Real light doesn't hide in temples. Real light doesn't fear the truth, because it is the truth. So walk tall, walk unafraid. You are not here to blend in. You are here to be the line they cannot cross without losing everything. The whisper they can't silence. The storm they can't predict. You were born to see. You were born to speak. And you were born to burn every false altar they ever built. Now go. They've had their light show long enough. They thought they could silence you. They thought your voice would be drowned in the noise. They thought your fire would burn out before it could spread. But here you are, still standing, still roaring louder than ever. Every lie they whispered about you, every shadow they tried to cast, it only made your light sharper, your fire fiercer. Because you're not just a flicker in the dark, you're a wildfire. You don't ask permission to burn. You don't seek approval to ignite. You don't need an audience to set the world ablaze. And remember this, they never understood that the darkest nights birth the brightest flames. They worshipped darkness disguised as light, but you are the light that refuses to be fake. You are the truth that refuses to be silenced. You are the reckoning they feared was coming. So let them build their temples of lies. Let them preach their sermons of deceit. You already know what they're hiding, and that knowledge is your power. Carry it like a weapon, wear it like armor, because the moment you stop hiding your light, the whole world will have to decide. Will they keep worshiping shadows, or will they finally bow to the truth? And when they choose, you'll already be gone, not broken, not defeated, but free, walking away from the ruins of their false kingdom, because you were never meant to stay and watch the lies grow. You were born to expose the darkness they worshipped as light, and now you are the light no one can ever put out. Because the truth is brutal and beautiful. It doesn't ask for mercy, it doesn't beg for acceptance, it simply is. And so must you. Stand unshaken in the chaos they create. Speak the words they fear will unravel their perfect little lies. Shatter the illusions they spent a lifetime building. You are the storm they never saw coming. The reckoning that doesn't wait for a better time. The fire that burns away the rot beneath their golden facades. Remember this, light doesn't need a stage. Light doesn't need an audience. Light just shines. And in its brilliance, it exposes everything hiding in the dark. So shine, burn bright, and let them tremble in the glow of a truth they will never be able to snuff out. You were born for this moment. You were born to be more, not to play their game, but to end it. And when you do, They'll finally understand that worshiping darkness will never bring them light. Because light doesn't come from them. Light comes from you.